fellas, how do you do? This is my podcast and it's just for you. It's called Ted Talks and it's a load of shite, but I hope you enjoy it because I've kept it light. It's 30 minutes long and all about Teesside, the people, the places and the Boro pride. Alright, fellas, welcome to episode 12 of Ted Talks, the Ted Hanky Podcast. I'm proper buzzing, honestly. I can't believe it. We just keep doing more of these podcast episodes, and I'm dead happy because the downloads are going through the roof, honestly. So obviously some of you daft bastards are listening to this. If it was me, I wouldn't bother, you know what I mean? But last week episode I had Sir David Attenborough on, and that's trending really well. In particular the bit where he did the narration where I went for a dump. That went well. We've had no football, no Boro football this week yet. So with the international break where Harry Kane scored a hat-trick and Scotland lost again, which always makes me happy, to be honest. It always does. But anyway, yeah, welcome to this week's show. As always, recorded in conjunction with Boro Fan TV and Shitehawk Comedy. Boro Fan TV providing online fan content through the YouTube, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter channels. They do fan interviews, and we've got some shows in the pipeline for those, which is going to be great. And Shitehawk Comedy as well, who provide fantastic nights of comedy, stand-up comedy, improvised comedy, you name it, they do it, all around the North East and Yorkshire. So look up the pages, give them a follow on Facebook and that, and you'll be pleasantly surprised about some of the fantastic things that they do, yeah. Right then, so my first guest on Ted Talks this week is the one, the only, Gary Barlow.
Hiya Ted, how are you doing, pal?
I'm all right, Gary, mate. Before we get started, what have you had for your tea tonight?
Well, I was going to have a steak bake, but I thought, I've got to watch my weight, so I didn't bother. I just had beans on toast.
Beans on toast? Do you know, I grew up on beans on toast for about fucking 15 years. And then sometimes I'd just go a bit mad and I'd have beans and sausages, then I'd have spaghetti.
What, mixing it up like?
Yeah, sometimes I'd have beans and spaghetti together as a bit of a hybrid, hybrid Heinz, I used to call it.
Right, well, you know what, mate, I've never tried that before, but I'm going to definitely take you up on that.
Try it, Gary, you know what I mean? You'll enjoy it, you know what I mean? Anyway, listen, it's great to have you on my show. It's a fucking top 10, sometimes top 20 podcast, man, you know what I mean? It's doing all right stuff, yeah. In the charts. You know about the charts because you're used to dominating them for years, such as the weight loss charts.
Well, yes, I mean, I was known as the fat one once upon a time, but then, let's be right, Robbie took it over eventually, didn't he?
That's right. I was going to ask you about fat swap because, I mean, you weren't a particularly fat chap in the early days when you had your blonde flat top and that, and you were doing all, you only takes a minute, girl, and shit like that. You looked like you were a good dancer, but then you just went a bit fat, didn't you?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Ted. What happened was the depression hit a bit. I was the only fucker writing the songs. And, when you've got that pressure, it starts to creep up. And before I know it, I was going to McDonald's for breakfast, lunch and tea.
What about Howard the Duck? Did he not write any?
He didn't do much, Teddy. All he did was just a bit of dancing and got his arse out every now and then.
Fucking dreadlocks as well, didn't he? Dreadlocks.
We didn't agree with that either.
So, well, you must be, I mean, you're good mates with Robbie now, aren't you? But you must be thinking, look at the clip of you now, Williams. Look at the state of you.
Well, I won't lie to you, Ted. What he did was, the reason he left, he was trying to take over the ship and he had to realise that I was the captain and he wasn't having it. So he fucked off, but eventually he came back and I had to tell him, I'm the fucking captain.
Right, so that's how you fell out then, was it?
Yeah, he wanted to be the captain.
Right. And did he do that thing like in his underpants and pull that strange face? You know, he does that strange mouth and go, yeah, I'm the captain.
Well, you've got to remember, Ted, he was hooked on ecstasy tablets at the time, so that might have had something to do with it.
That'll explain his upside down mouth all the time.
Yeah.
He's gurning on a couple of Mitsubishis.
Yeah, I think he would have done, mate. I bet he was on them as well.
Right, nice one. Listen, you did like loads of towers as Take That, didn't you? You must have like toured all over the world and that.
Yeah, we did, mate, yeah.
You must have seen a load of flange.
Not going to lie to you, Ted. There was quite a bit of flange.
Yeah. What type? Describe your best flange. Was it horse?
I got offered horse, but I didn't fancy it. But I was tempted.
Jason will have had a blast on a horse, won't he? He was a mucky fucker, him. He put it in anything.
He did, Ted, yeah. I mean, there's things I can't talk about with him, but let's just say he's a very, very unstable individual.
Another horse joke there.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't see that one coming at all.
Yeah, you're not as dull as what people say you are.
Well, here's the thing, Ted. One of the reasons I wanted to do this was to let people know that I'm not boring. People think I'm boring. I can't imagine why, but there's a lot to me. You know what I mean?
Sorry, Gary, I nodded off a bit there.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Like I say, I don't know why people think I'm boring.
All right, yeah. You're not boring, mate. No, you're just, you're just very boring, if you don't mind me saying. You're like, I'm sat here now trying to do this interview with you, and I'm thinking, oh my God, have you heard this clip of his voice? Have anyone ever said to you before, Barlow, sort your voice out, you sing all right, but you talk like a proper meth?
Well, I suppose you're right, Ted, but at the same time, I do have people coming up to me saying, Jesus, I bet it's a right laugh for your missus when you're in the sack. I can tell you right now, as far as I know, I do pleasure my missus. She doesn't say much, and like you say,
Does she only take a minute?
Oh, mate, you've got me there.
What I did there.
But she does take a minute, usually, to be fair.
Oh, that means you've got a good flange technique if she only takes a minute.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Ted. I mean, word is you're a bit of a stud in the sack, and I was wondering if you could give me some possible tips.
I mean, I might have covered this off on some of my previous podcasts, but I am an incredibly fast but an effective booker.
Right.
So I book incredibly fast, like I'm showing you like a motion now, and that's just called like the super scuttle.
Right, so what? So you think the super scuttle is the best way to go?
It's never mind doing as far as you can pull out and slip back in. That's more of a thrust. If you can get it in as far as you can and just do a super fast wiggly scuttle.
Right, well, you see, I don't go that far in anyway because I'm not that very downed, you know.
Oh, mate, listen, you don't need to have a pecker the size of Ted's to be able to be a super fast scuttler and an effective scuttler. Foreplay for starters. I always give her a Kinder Egg to begin with.
Can I just write this down?
Yeah, like it down, yeah. Give her a Kinder Egg because like if she's not enjoying what you're doing, she can just play with the toy.
Right.
So
well, that might work for me, you know, Tim.
Loosens them up.
Yeah, because my missus, you know, she tends to read a book. So do you think if she's got something to play with, that might be better?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he'll get her hands sort of moving. She can have a bit of chocolate as well, or you can sort of like, it gets melted dead easy, that chocolate, so you can like put it all over the boobies and that and work your way down while she's playing with the toy. So start off with a Kinder Egg, right?
Kinder Egg, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you can use a Cadbury's cream egg, but they're a bit messy. And then, you know, talk to her like she's like the milkman who's late.
Right,
like, where's me milk?
Right, so you think I should go for the more aggressive?
Yeah, where's me milk?
Right.
Where's me silver top?
Right, silver top. Right, I've got this old Kinder Egg.
Yeah.
Silver top.
Yeah.
And if I do that...
Do you know the pop man?
Right, pop man.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha.
You should drop the pop off as well. And then,
I remember.
If she does,
yeah, I remember.
You can have a bit of a three-way with the pop man.
Yeah, well, that's it, mate. I'll definitely shoot for that.
Do you want me to be the pop man? I'll come round and I'll show you out. I mean, because I've seen your missus, she's all right, you know what I mean?
Well, okay, mate, but am I going to have to pay for that?
No, but I will take my bottles back and then I can get 30 pence a bottle down at the shop. Yeah.
me, because like I say, I'm having to pay a lot of tax back at the moment, you see. Because
Well, I've read in the papers that you're a bit of a tax dodging banana.
Well, you could word it like that, Ted, but end of the day, I work very hard.
Just did.
Well, yeah, you did, mate, yeah. But end of the day, I pay my taxes, what I have to pay, and that's fine for me. I mean, I'm very good friends with David Cameron, and
The pig shagger. The pig head. He shagged the pig's head, didn't he?
He did, yes, but that's it, really. Apart from that, Dave's a smashing fella.
I think he's a twat, to be honest. Every politician's a twat.
Well, look, Ted, I can see what you mean, but he might be a lot of things, but he's not a bad guy. Really isn't.
Right, okay. Some scandal coming out here about the David Camerons as well. Going back there to what you said about, what was it before you said, just before that, around tax dodging, wasn't it? Yeah. Do you know, I've not paid tax in this country since ever.
Really?
Yeah, because
Christ, how did you do that, then?
I just can't get a proper job. You know what I mean? I once got offered a job doing making the coffees in Starbucks and stuff like that, but for some reason I kept putting pubes in the frothy coffees. And
you don't know why you did that, no?
Well, no, they were just like, sometimes you just can't help yourself. You've got to have a bit of a scratch, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, mate. Yes,
but then I'd have a bit of a scratch and I'd end up knocking out a frappuccino for someone and forget to wash my hands. And, you know, people thought they were getting extra sprinkles on the coffees, but then they were getting caught in the teeth because I've got quite lengthy pubes, you know what I mean?
I believe that, yeah.
Yeah, so I lasted 3 hours in Starbucks job, so I didn't even get a wage there. They didn't even process my national insurance number. That's how fucking short it wasn't there. And then the only other job I've had since then was helping me mate Billy Mac on the scrap wagons.
Right.
That's it.
Well, can I be frank, Ted?
Cashing on.
I've heard that for a while you were a male escort to some high-profile women.
Not quite high profile. It was more around Julie, Big Fat Julie's mates who couldn't get a scuttle, but they had dole money to spend.
Right.
So they used to basically give me 10-15 pounds just to go around and give them one of my super scuttles for a few minutes. But
so the Kinder Egg was involved, was it?
Well, sometimes, or I'd give them a chomp bar.
Right.
Because you can buy a multi-pack of chomp bars or Freddos from cash and carry and the cheap.
Well, you're saving money, aren't you?
Exactly, yeah. And they start off with a Freddo with them because they're a little bit lower class ladies, these. You don't need to give them the quality of a Kinder Egg. So give them a Freddo or a Curly Whirly or a Chomp. And then I'd scuttle them and I'd take payment.
Right.
And I'd make, because she had quite a few friends at Weight Watchers, I'd make about 80 quid a week cash in hand just for a bit of scuttling.
Right. Well, Ted, I believe all that, but I'm going to be very frank with you now.
Go on then.
Right. I've done numerous interviews with Lorraine Kelly, and she said multiple occasions that she hired you for hardcore sex. Now, is that true?
Which one's Lorraine Kelly?
The Scottish bird off Good Morning Television.
Eamon Holmes?
I don't know if it was a three-way, but I don't know if he was involved as well.
He's paid for me before.
Right. Jesus.
But yeah, I think I know what you mean now. Does she talk a bit like, oh, hello?
That's it, mate. Exactly. Yeah. Does that ring a bell? They're making that noise?
Yeah. Oh, Ted! Yeah. Have a little pop down there and take a wee look at me tuppence. That's what she used to say.
That's it, mate. Yeah. I think to quote, that's exactly what she said to me.
Yeah, she was good. She was good, Lorraine Kelly.
Good payer or?
Good payer and a good layer.
Right. Did there. Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah,
yeah, Lorraine Kelly. I did a little bit around the ITV studios and stuff like that. Britain, when she was a bit of a fatty.
Right, yeah, quite heavy. Well, I can relate to that.
Schofield walked in on us, but he just didn't batter an eyelid. It was like it was a normal for her.
Right, so you think she was at it all the time?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right, okay.
And Yeah, that's about it, really. Yeah, I don't really note down the names, you know what I mean? I just look at the money, and then I close my eyes and I do a super scuttle, and then that's it done.
Right, I'm with you, Ted. But all I'm saying is, I've heard you've got a hell of a reputation.
Yeah, my reputation precedes me.
Exactly, mate. I don't
even know what that means.
You know what, mate? Neither do I.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, Gary Barlow, it's been very, very lovely chatting with you.
I hope it's not been boring, mate. I want to put that to bed.
Do you know what? If it has been, I think the listeners will let me know, and then we'll just say, yeah, that's Gary Barlow, isn't it? He's just dull as shit.
Well, if that is the case, it's very disappointing for me.
Yeah. Have you got any gigs coming up or any new songs coming out?
Well, to be honest, Ted, like you say, in a bit of trouble with the government. They're on to me for the tax again. So I'm hoping to avoid that and basically just making sure that Robbie behaves himself.
Who was the fit girl who was in the band? You know, the fit little girl?
The fit girl?
Yeah, there was Out the Duck, there was Jason Oranges, there was you, there was Robbie Williams, and then there was a fit little girl.
Oh, Ted, you're talking about Mark there. And Mark, as far as I know, yeah. Now,
why is she called Mark?
You know what, Ted, I don't lie to you. I've never seen him in the shower. He could be a fucking woman, as far as I know.
You saying Mark's not a woman?
I'm sorry, mate. You might be right. I couldn't tell you.
I used to think about. We're going to end that there anyway. Gary Barlow, thanks for coming on my show and ruining me fucking dreams.
Right, sorry, mate. I'll bear that in mind.
Right, well, I'm sat here in my studio, and Mala's meant to be here because I'm meant to be doing my last bit of my podcast with Mala. And he's not fucking turned up, the vast mate. Alice, Jolie. Jolie!
What? What do you want, Ted?
Where's your Mala? Your Mala's meant to be here to do my podcast.
How would I know? He's fucked up on holiday, hasn't he? He's nowhere near here. Can you leave us alone a minute? I'm shaving my arse, man.
Oh, God. Listen, Jolie, I didn't know Mala was on holiday. You should have told us. You're gonna have to fill in for him. You're just gonna have to fill in for a little bit of the show. Finish shaving your ass and come in here.
Right, I'll wipe the soap off. I'll give it a quick wipe. Jesus, that shouldn't be like that. Right, what do you want?
Hey, well, you know, this is my podcast I do, and I've got a load of listeners and stuff like that who were expecting me to do interviews with people and stuff like that. So I thought, since you're here, we could maybe reminisce on some of our good times together.
What fucking good times? I'm not having you back, and that's what you're after, you randy little shit. Always craving the clunge, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, because I'm a rampant animal, and you've got such a lovely moist clunge. And, you know, I let you round here, I let you watch EastEnders, I let you watch Bake Off, you were watching Muff Island, stuff like that. And all I want in a little bit in return is a cuddle, and a little bit of love, and maybe some flange.
It's not happening, Ted. I've told you once, you can fuck off creeping in me bed every fucking night I stay around here. Enough, right? That bed is for me and Beyonce, my little chihuahua.
Yeah, but it's my bloody bed. I'm sleeping near the fridge. It's fucking freezing in that kitchenette.
Well, you made your bed, and I'm going to lie in it.
Oh, you fucking... Julie, I love you. When are you just gonna accept that? Even though my listeners want us to get back together, and some of them have even suggested we make a bit of a mucky movie together and we might get some money out of it. What do you think?
I wouldn't make a fucking mucky movie with you if you paid us in pies. It's not happening, Ted. You can keep your little baby carrot away from me.
Well, I was going to involve some pies in the movie, actually. And baby carrot, I'll have you know it's more like a fucking parsnip, a mighty parsnip.
A mighty parsnip is like a baby's finger. Who are you trying to kid?
Right, okay then, mate. We're not going to get anywhere by talking about Ted's pecker knifed in front of all my fans and that. They know I'm a big lad. They know I'm Big Ted the Red. Listen, what have you been doing today anyway, Julie? Let's have some nice conversations. Where have you been? What have you been doing?
I went down to Heron to get some pies and stuff for me tea, some chicken nuggets as well for me tea, some beans for me tea, and that's why I had to shave my ass, to be honest. I farted and it was a fart with the skin, and it, cracked up in the hairs and stuff, so I had to shave it.
Oh, a fart with the skin? Fuck, I've never heard anything so revolting in all my life.
Ted, man, you lived with us for years. You know what I'm like. I've got an ass weaker than a wet paper bag.
Well, I do recall some very touch and go incidents. What are you going to Heron for anyway? You know I like the Aldi's and the farm foods.
Yeah, well, you don't fucking take me, do you? How am I supposed to carry that back all by myself? It's fucking half a mile away. Heron, 20 yards.
Did you get me my sausage rolls that I like?
No, I didn't have enough. You can have the leftovers that I've left.
Julie, you don't pay for 50% of your shopping anyway. I've seen you with a leg of lamb, a bumper pack of fish fingers, half a litre of cooking oil, 3 litres of white lightning cider, all shoved inside your leggings. And I know I'm revealing your tricks here, but you're a renowned shoplifter.
Well, yeah, what's that got to do with anything, Ted? I needed money for me fags, didn't I?
Right, no, I'll let you know.
A little Beyonce, I mean, what's she going to live on? You know, she's a purebred dog, is Beyonce. She needs the finest chappy.
In fact, she's a little shit. She's a little shit. She get my slippers, the little shit. I said to you when you came over, don't be bringing that little rat with you.
Little rat? She's a princess, Ted. She's a princess, I tell you.
Right, well, don't you leave her around where I am, because I've got form. Last week on my podcast, I was talking about shooting a dog, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you, Julie. I'll throw him in the fucking river.
Throw me in the river? Are you taking the fucking piss? I'll lump you one.
Right. Oh. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I'm going to have to nip off air a moment, because when Julie talks to me like she is, it gets me very, very, very horny. So I'm going to just pop off, and I'm just going to give her a quick one of my super scuttles that I'm known for in the Middlesbrough area. Okay. Julie, just say goodbye to the listeners, please.
See you later, listeners. Well, I hope not, to be honest, because I don't want to be wasting my time with this fucking halfway.
Right, okay, we'll leave that there then. Thank you. As you can imagine, matters, I didn't get a sniff. Well, I did get a sniff, but not what I wanted to sniff. She's dead tight at the minute, Julie, you know what I mean? She won't give me anything. I couldn't even get a little bit of dry wrist action. Never mind, anyway. Let's play a quick advert.
Silly cuts. Yeah. Do you like having proper class haircuts? Well, get yourself down to Silly Cuts in Stockton. We'll do them all. We do them all. Curtains, undercut, Philly shave, bic, Nike ticks, tram lines, flat tops, spike patterns, high tops, low tops, colours. We do them all. Silly Cuts. Come to Silly Cuts in Stockton. We'll make you look proper class. Silly Cuts. We'll colour it, we'll shave it, we'll remove it, we'll extend it, we do it all. We'll even do your nose hair for free.
Silly Cuts is a new barbers on Stockton High Street exclusively for chavs. £3 a haircut, or we'll cut your hair for a bag of beak.
Silly Cuts.
Well, it's come to that part of the show now where I get to answer all of my social media followers and listeners' questions in a part of the show called Ask Ted. And, all me matters who follow me on the Facebook and the Twitter, they just ask me anything, and I answer it as honestly as possible. So we're going to start off with first question. Benny Bennett, is it wrong to Mexicanize a porky bum wang? Oh, no, I've one like this before. He's put. I thought I'd mix it up a bit by dipping my finger in mad hot chili sauce before cracking on, but by the looks of horror and abuse I got from the others in the bus stop queue, Mexicanising it was a bad idea. So is it wrong to change a classic, or were they just being racist? And he's put there, I quite like Mexican people and me like. Firstly, you shouldn't be cracking one out in public places in bus stops, you know what I mean? Secondly, you don't need to add spice to the bottom. It's a temperamental area of the human body. It's bad enough when you digest spice and then it's got to come out of the bottom and you can get a bit of a ring sting. So why put it on your finger and rub it around your sphincter there, mate? It's a bad move, so don't do it. Okay. Next question's on Twitter. And this has come from John in Billingham, and he's put, now and said, I would like to get your thoughts on activewear, particularly on flange. Now, I'm a big fan of activewear. I think it's a great invention. Now, he's put here, I liked it until I stood behind someone in the Shambles in Stockton. It's a shopping centre, it's shit. And it really should not have poured itself into... What doesn't even make sense there? Now, I liked it until I stood behind something in the Shambles in Stockton that really should not have poured itself into black activewear that stretches to a fabric so thin you can clearly see its white knickers fighting to hold in what can only be described as a massive sweaty bean bag. It's a good description there, John. He goes on, he continues. He turns round, I can lip read a badger begging for help. Now, I think activewear should only be sold to active people, otherwise these people are living a lie. I don't agree, John. I don't agree. Activewear is a great way to show the figure of a beautiful lady or man. It is tight around the crotch area on both a lady and a man. And I'm all for it. You know, sometimes I'll pop to the shop for the milk and bread and I'll put my activewear on because it's comfortable for a walk. But rightly so, you can see me plums and todger, and I get a few funny looks. It's the same when the flange is wearing activewear. You can still see my plums and todger because I get very excited. But I'm all for activewear on anybody. Big Fat Julie used to wear the activewear, but it was more like radioactive wear because it used to stick. Okay, next question. Tom, HUFC, what colour does a Smurf go, Ted, if you strangle it? I believe, Tom, it stays blue because Smurfs aren't real, you silly bastard. Okay. Stephen Davis, why you got hair like a 90s mank, you div? Okay, Stephen, I think you'll find I am a strong, powerful, handsome man, and it is a strong, powerful, handsome style that I rock, and I suit it. I'm looking at your profile picture, and I can see you clearly got hair envy of Ted here. So my words to you, Stephen, is shut up. I like me hair. I look proper mint with it. Next question, Mike Bellaby. Now, Bella, you all right, mate? How many chickens would it take to defeat a massive elephant? I've done this calculation in the past, Bella, and it actually takes 6 chickens to defeat a massive elephant. And the reason they do this is that they can jump quite high, chickens, so they jump on the back of the elephant. Elephants obviously can't reach their own back because they've got little short, dumpy legs. And then what they do is they then start pecking into the eyes and the ears of the elephant, and the elephant falls to the ground defeated. That's how it works, mate. David Myers, who does your barnet? A lot of questions about my hair. Like I said earlier on, it's a quality hairdo. I'm not going to reveal that, David. It's a secret. Why would I share the secrets of my success? I don't want people copying me. I look proper mint. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to answer that one. Sorry, David. It's off. David Potter, top fan. What do your neighbours think when you're doing the Assombalongadonga around the garden? Fuck them, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'll have a peek through the fence and I'll watch them sunbathe, and they don't know that. Yeah, it's quite nice, actually. But, you know, if they see me doing that out the bathroom window or what have you, I'll just turn around and I'll tell them to fuck off, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not bothered. I do what I want in my property. And if I want to sing about the mighty Assombalonga, they can go and swivel, mate. Chris Libby, how does the man who drives the snowplough get to work? It's a good question, that, Chris. I think he might have one of those type of snow skis, you know, like a jet ski, but on snow. And I think he probably travels to work on that because it's faster. And then he does his work in the plough and then goes back home on that. There you go. Wilf Smith, from past and present, what Butter 11 would you play? I'm going to have a bash at this. I think it's a good question. I've never been asked it before. In goal for me, Schwarzer. Yeah, got to agree with that, haven't you? Come on, you know what I mean. Centre backs, I'd probably go Nigel Pearson and Gareth Southgate. You know, I was probably thinking Eki Hogg there and Palace as well, but for me, Southgate and Pearson. Okay. Left back, between Kinder and Quidrow, probably go Quidrow. Used to love him, he had nice hair. Right back, Festa, Gianluca Festa. Okay. Defensive midfielder, George Boateng, without a doubt. Got to be, man. To the left of him, Bolo Zendin, or Stuart Downing. I can't decide. It's got to be one or two of them, hasn't it? Attacking midfielder, it's got to be between Paul Merson and Janino wins every time on that. So that means I would put Paul Merson as my right-sided midfielder there, which was tough because I used to love the Gasser, even though he hardly played. I used to love Robson as well, but that's me man. Attacking midfielder, yeah, so Janino, and then I'm going to go for three up front. Okie doke. So I'm going to go for Hasselbank, right? There you go. I'm going to go for Viduka, and I'm going to go for Fabrizio Ravanelli. How about that? Now that is a strong fucking lineup, isn't it, mate? Good question, that, Wilfie. I like that. Cheers, mate. I'm not going through the subs though. But my favourite manager I would choose out of all them will be Brucey Rioch because he is our saviour. There you go. Al Scott. Oh, let's have a look here. Are you a poor man's Jimmy Cranky? It's a bad question. I'm really disappointed I've allowed this on my podcast. So come back again next week, Al Scott, with a better question than that, because Jimmy Cranky is a bird pretending to be a little boy who's about 70, and I am 6'2", and Jimmy Cranky is about 5 foot. So let's get real with things here, people. You know what I mean? Mike Barraclough, top fan. Would you rather have cocks for ears or a flange for the nose? It's a really good question, that, mate. Bryce Wilson's commented there saying he's already got both. Good, yeah, you get in there, Bry, you fucking Doyle. Mike, I'm going to answer your question for you there, mate. I would obviously rather have a flange for the nose because I simply love the smell of flange. There you go. Nobody wants cock ears, do they? Tom McVeigh, any plans for a gig or two in Manchester, Ted? Would love to see you over this side of the country. I'd love to, mate. I'd love to. I've got some gigs in Boro coming up in Teesside, so I'm going to announce them later on. I'll have a look, mate. I'll have a look, even if I can get on one of them open mic sort of midweek 10-minute spots. I hope you'd come and see me, mate, because they're quite clicky over in Manchester, you know what I mean? You've got to be that kind of chat like that, you know what I mean? I'm going to do some comedy and that, you know what I mean? Don't be giving me any of that shite. So I might not change my accent. Liam Butler, all right, Ted Manor, who would win in a fight between Billy Mack and Ronnie Pickering? Fuck Billy Mack, I am telling you now, Billy Mack is rock hard. A few episodes ago, he was on here doing an interview. He's going to be the future mayor of Teesside. But Billy Mack, he is the man. Honestly, I once seen him punch a cow in the face. It fell over, and then he just put it in a sleeper hold. He's mad, honestly. Nigel Campbell. Another one. Oh, wow, another fight question. Who would win in a fight, a swan from one of the islands at Albert Park or a Canadian goose from Stewart's Park? Both think they're rock hard. I need to ask my mate Dean Mose about this, because his job is to look after all the swans in all of the parks, and he feeds them and bathes them and stuff like that. I'd probably going to say that the Albert Park swan is rock hard compared to the Canadian goose, because everyone knows Canadian geese are absolute fannies. Right, good question here. Martin Fletchy. All right, Matt, I see the England ladies team, the Lionesses, are playing at the Riverside. Are you an advocate of the women's game? Yes, I am. Big fan of it, Fletch. Love it. Will you be going down there to check out the quality of the flange on the pitch? It's an inappropriate question, that, Fletcher. Let's not be misogynistic and sexist. They are quality footballers. Some of them would get in the Boro team. All right. Some of them are highly attractive ladies. So I will not only just be checking out the quality of the flange, but I'll be checking out the quality of the football as well there. Oh, and his missus has commented there, Elizabeth Nicol, she's put there, I better not catch him looking at other flange, Fletch, or you'll be getting a kick in the bollocks, you Doyle. That showed you there, Fletch, hasn't it, you fucking idiot. Daniel Cheney, does Ted remember the away day at Norwich all them years ago? Yes, I do, Daniel. We don't talk about that because I'll get in trouble on the air, but it was fucking mental. But thanks for bringing that up there, Dan. David Smith, my comedy mate. I've got him on the show next week, David Smith. He's a funny lad. He's put, Ted, have you ever gambled on a fart and lost? Yes, I have actually, yeah. And I commented on it a few weeks ago, but I've done it a few times now. One time I was rollerblading, and I'd had a bad chili as well, and I did a little pump as I was rollerblading, and I was in sort of like grey cycling shorts, and I just shit all down the back of my leg. So never fart when rollerblading. Ross Griffiths, how was the flange in the new flange zone at the Riverside, Ted? I'll give you 3 words: quality, tasty, moist. There you go. 3 lovely words associated with the flange in the flange zone at the Riverside. Graham Park, another top fan there. Do we keep George Friend in the side to keep the general handsomeness of the back four at a reasonable level, seeing as the rest should be sat on a porch playing the banjo? It's a good question, that. I'm a big fan of Friendy. I think he's a handsome chap. He's got good hair, good strong hair. He's got a nice body, very similar to mine, nice and toned and groomed. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for if you've got 4 defenders and only 3 can play football, but 1 looks mint, always keep the mint one in. You know what I mean? It's just good, isn't it? It's just good to have a good-looking lad in the team. Norton Wilcock was in the pig iron the other night, Ted, and a bloke bet me mate a fiver he couldn't go the rest of the night without a piss. Anyway, he did it even after 7 pints and a couple of shots. The question is, do you know what the best way to get a massive piss stain out of a mattress is? You want to get some bicarbonate sodium water and a cloth, and just gently rub it, and it also gets rid of the strong smell of piss as well. But it's great for removing the stain as well, so you can sell that mattress on at a car boot sale of your choice, and no one will ever know their bed has been pissed. Right, Sad Wilson, Ted, if vampires have no reflection in mirrors and things like that, how come Dracula's hair is always proper smart? I like that question there, Bri. I think it's just a slick back though, isn't it? You know what I mean? You keep a comb in your back pocket, all you're doing is just running it through your hair. You don't need a mirror. Do you know what I mean? A bit of spit on one hand, dab it down, and then through with a comb. Simple as that. So you don't need a mirror to have a slick back drac. Do you know what I mean? Don't go in and ask for that haircut. I want a slick back drac. Is that another one, daft ass? I was wondering, Ted, does a person with one eye blink or wink? Well, he winks, doesn't he? Because you only blink with 2 eyes. And you wink with one. So if he's got one, he winks. You silly winker. So there we go. That concludes another week's worth of Ask Ted questions. Cheers, manners. that's another cracking episode there of Ted Talks, the Ted Hanky Podcast. So I'd like to thank you all for sending in your questions and participating in this proper load of shite and that, you know what I mean? But I am dead grateful, you know what I mean? I am dead grateful for your interactions and how many people are downloading and listening. It's just beyond me dreams. Well, I can probably dream of probably better things, to be honest, but it's good. It's good. So thanks for doing that. Keep doing it. Keep sharing the podcast. Invite your friends, invite your family, you know, share it about on social media. Do leave me a 5-star review on iTunes or Stitcher on Android, because that does help. You know, I keep getting into the charts, but then I keep dropping out. And I want to stay in the charts, man, because then someone might pay me some fucking money for doing this, you know what I mean? There's only Duncan Phillips who puts £3 in my account every week from coffee.com, which you guys can do if you go to coffee.com, KOFI, and just search for the Ted Hanky Podcast. Just a good way to say thanks, isn't it? You know what I mean? If you did one of these, I'd probably give you the tenner, just saying. But I've got some gigs coming up. Some daft bastards have decided, you know, Ted, you know, he's getting a bit big around in the Teesside area. Let's give him some comedy gigs. So the first one I'm doing is, it's only like a new act, new material night, so I'm going to try some new stuff. And that's on the 14th of October in Darlington at the Hole in the Wall, which is on the Horse Market Square bit. I think tickets are like £3 advance, £5 on the door, but I'll be on doing like 10 minutes. Cracking host called Andy Fury. And headline act is the brilliant Mike Milligan. So he's worth like just £15 going to see him, never mind paying £3. So I would really appreciate it, even if just 4 or 5 of you came along and just laughed really loudly at my jokes, because I'm hoping Neil, who books the nights, will say, oh yeah, he is quite funny, Ted, you know what I mean? I better give him some more gigs. Because like, if no one comes and no one laughs at me, I'm fucked, you know what I mean? But then on the flip side of that, on Friday the 25th of October, I'm going to be headlining a gig in Boro, and I think it's not been announced yet, but I think it's going to be at the Southern Cross with Laughing Pug Comedy, and they normally put a cracking lineup on, so there'll be a good MC, there'll be lots of other support acts on, really good, and then I'll be doing like 20-30 minutes at the end, and I'm just going to do loads of daft shit, man, honestly. I've got songs, I've got gifts, I've got nudity, you know, it's all there, man. It's going to be proper class, and I want a load of you there to support it, because you'll make it a proper class atmosphere, you know. We'll sing songs about George Boateng and everything, man. I don't care, as long as people have a good time. So thanks to my guest tonight, Gary Barlow. I was going to thank Mala, but he didn't turn up. The twat's right to get fucking Big Fat Julian, so that wasn't too good. Big thanks to all you guys who sent in questions, and a huge thanks to Boro Fan TV and Showcase Comedy for supporting this wonderful, wonderful night. And you know, check out the websites and Facebook pages, and all the events that are coming up, comedy events and stuff like that, are listed on there, and some are local, so you know what I mean, get on board with it, and that'd be class. But until next time, the Boro are back on the game, and we're going to start fucking cleaning up this league and getting up the top, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're going up. You got to believe.